Fnatic on the Chaos, and we will wait to see who Titan takes out first.
As we said, this is a very interesting matchup as far as the gods are concerned. It's really just as interesting. Titan goes ahead and bans out Giannis, who is Zero's go-to god.
Gotta ban it. Gotta ban it. His Giannis play has been nothing but exceptionally amazing, right? So he picked up Giannis, I feel like randomly, and it just worked. And I feel like that was the last lane we attended, the Spring Split Finals, and you know, in the losers section, he picked up Giannis and just destroyed it, and then I think he just picked Giannis every single game since.
Well, you guys actually prioritized banning out Giannis yesterday versus MLC Stealth. Is this guy just super mobile and it's impossible to lock him down, and that's why you don't want to deal with it?
I mean, no one wants to deal with the fact that you can go anywhere you want with your hold. I mean, that's generally something you want to X away with the circuit. And I like what Fnatic does here. They just banning out the utility. Ares Ymir taken away immediately just to ensure that, hey, we're not going to get locked down. Also, not for nothing, Kanye Life, previously known as Murder, very, very apt name was Murder. He just plays those hyper-aggressive Guardians, so they take Ares and Ymir out of his hands, not able to do much of that. Titan with the first pick, a Wheelish. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like there's so much utility open, especially with Athena or like a Sylvanas, but the Wheelish is amazing. I mean, she is, especially in the hands of Anister. So when we went against Anister yesterday, we knew that he would eventually pick a Wheelish, and that was probably the most scary experience. Especially he killed me, and literally I was at 50% HP, feather step dead.
Dude, that was so heartbreaking too when you died and you came back and he sucks you in and then you have like 20% health and you're like, guys, we're not getting this gold.
Yeah, no, I said late game boys, but I like the Sylvanas Apollo pickup, just a solid dual lane. I think that's honestly all Fnatic needs to do is ensure Reels gets its farm in and get him to 30 minutes.
Well, Neath has been acquired here by Titan. We could see the double hunter coming out of them as well, just because of Ataraxia. He's so fluid with it now since he's in the solo lane, but it's not really favored much anymore.
I feel like people are just starting to get the hang of it, especially with the early game starts being nerfed a little bit here and there. It's just hunters with the attack speed slows that they've gotten. I mean, you could still run double hunter. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see how he wants to do it or wants to play it out.
I remember talking to Ataraxia right before Titan made this role swap, and Ataraxia said he felt comfortable in the solo lane because of how easily hunters were pluggable into that lane. So with the changes to Bluestone and the attack speed slows, we're starting to see some other characters go into that solo lane. So it'll be interesting to see if Titan hangs on to that hunter and solo lane meta because that's what their players are used to, or if they're going to switch roles back. That's the big question mark for me. I don't think it's going to happen this game. But in the future, I'm going to see where they're going to go. That's really what I'm looking.
I like right here Fnatic's lineup. So they sealed in the Poseidon, and they actually got Bologna 4th pick, which means that Titan, they must not be scared of this lineup. I mean, I look at this lineup, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. This is Bologna Poseidon. I mean, explosive level 5 for mid-Harpies, global presence with Apollo.
Guaranteed mid-Harpy lockdown, too.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, I mean, Titan really must be afraid of these other picks to let this lineup go through.
Ooh. So Titan now has went ahead and drafted Pretty Prime Scylla. Now, he does have a little bit of setup here. You got the Neath root as well as the Cataclysm from Geb as well as the stun coming out from Kronos. But is that enough setup to really bring I'm a Monster to its full potential?
I mean, it's going to come down to how well... I mean, they have very tight windows to actually set things up. Geb knockup, is really hard to time with a Willish ult to actually pull someone. It's a small knockup. It's not even a hard knockup. It's a very small knockup. So on top of that, they're really going to have to rely on the Neath Worldweaver to actually set up any kind of monster plays and maybe even Chronos stun. And the Osiris into Chronos, unless that's Bologna solo.
No, come on. We haven't seen an Osiris jungle in forever.
I wouldn't be... I mean, I don't know.
Season 1 was the last time we saw Osiris jungle.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And even then, I just remember Divios running in there and auto attack canceling and breaking Osiris in Season 1. But as we hop into the game here, Maniac will be rocking the Osiris in the solo lane. Captain Twig will be the Bologna in the jungle. And Zeros will have Poseidon in the mid lane.
Look at the side of Titan, though. Look at that. Confrey the Hunter on Kronos.
Yeah, this is something we saw last week come out of them as well. So they grab Kronos and they throw him into the duo lane, and then they just go, all right, Ataraxia, your global presence just because of your ultimate is good enough. Sit in lane and farm up. But the question is what the hell is going to be the build for the Neath?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're looking at a potential Transcendent star, Heartseeker star. It could be anything at this point, but also looking at how it's going to transition, you got to look, where's the beef on Titan right now? They really don't have that much of frontline besides Geb, so it's really up to Kanye Life to not only fill Initiator, but also backline peel for the double backline of Confree and Ataraxia.
Yeah, that's really going to be the story here for me, because Fnatic has so many ways of diving in and just getting into the backline of Titan.
Oh yeah, they have a full dive comp. Bellona ult, Osiris ult, Sylvanas blink. I mean, even Apollo can dive the backline. So it's really like Titan's going to have to massively outplay Fnatic, or either that or get an early game lead to keep themselves in it for teamfight time.
Here's the triple clamp clear that we've been seeing time and time again. This has become a little bit more popular. Is that because of the changes into the soul in that we're seeing from characters-wise, or why do we see this just become more popular all of a sudden?
Triple clear, I think people are just starting to realize that you don't really have to take engagements early, and guaranteeing that level 5 mid-Harpy fight or soul lane fight or whatever you want to do mid-Harpy, by level 5, kind of ensure that by getting back Harpies, because back Harpies early means that they're going to be up more often by the time you're trying to get to level 5.
Yeah, this is exactly what DM and I casted last week with Titan, where the Scylla ends up going over and using the Crush early on to just steal or to kind of do damage to the speed buff and then come over and grab the red. And now you're just going to see a Wheelix and Pretty Prime just run together in tandem and just jungle everything. It's very, very efficient, and it was like a masterpiece to watch last week. But the question is it going to be enough?
Well, here's the thing that I really like about the jungler for Titan going along with the Scylla. Picking the Scylla into Poseidon is haphazard, because Poseidon's clear is just, it's so incredible, comparatively speaking to Scylla, who really doesn't have any till level 8, level 9. So by putting the jungler there, you're going to help out that lack of early clear against Poseidon, whose whole jam is early clear.
I mean, Fnatic just picked a fantastic lineup, but the thing is that Titan picked these characters into this lineup.
Yeah.
It was Scylla into Poseidon. He knew the possible aftermath that could come, because, I mean, we all know that Scylla has a really hard time against Poseidon.
And as we swing into the duo lane here, Comfrey and Mr. Kanye Life will be on Kronos and Geb. Now, Apollo, we've seen a resurgence of him. What are you liking about Apollo so far in the duo lane?
Well, with the recent nerfs to Bluestone Pendant and the fact that everyone's clear also got indirectly nerfed because you don't have unlimited mana anymore, well,
Thank
Apollo's
God.
like, well, I have 100% attack speed steroid on my passive. I don't need to use mana to clear the wave. And on top, slap that on with global presence, and yeah, Apollo's back, baby.
Do you think the Kronos has any chance in this lane?
Yeah, I mean, like, if
just
Kronos,
stay safe.
If Kronos plays it right and knows his power spikes really well, he can maybe even net a kill. But overall, he will have full clear by like level 7 or level 8, especially if he uses his accelerate properly. He's able to get the mana back, and he'll never run out of mana. He can just free farm forever, and he also is pretty fast, so he can rotate to team fights and contest Gold Furies.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Kronos does have unlimited mana. If he's using that accelerate in that mana return, he's going to be able to clear that absolutely no problem. So it's really just a matter of if he can get that mechanic on his 2 correctly. Mid camps are going to spawn, and they're A.
Wow. I'm pretty sure Repicos was able to grab that one.
I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, let's take a look at the grass real quick, and we can really confirm who those went to. You'll see the spike right there. They went to Titan.
Yep. So Repicos was able to jump over there, and the big problem with that engagement was the fact that Pretty Prime was not level 5. He didn't have I'm a Monster at 3 minutes, which means he's a little bit behind on experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's very crucial, and we actually have a pause coming out by Reels, but it's really crucial for Scylla to have the I'm a Monster and keep up an experience, especially compared to a Poseidon. And I think that's just, you know, a big problem with Scylla, which is why you don't even see players like MLC Stealth player anymore. It's because, well, kind of suck early.
Yeah.
Can't do anything,
definitely a character that comes into herself a little later on.
Yeah. It's just really hard to deal with the favored mids right now, right? Like, Giannis has his place because he does have pretty decent clear just because he can spam out abilities, but he's super safe, right? But, like, when you're going against a Poseidon and an Isis who have full wave clear, like, instantly, I mean, what the hell do you do?
Brutal. You just deal with it under tower, miss out a whole bunch of gold, and really hope for your team to your team to make something happen later on.
You're praying for the dream, though, bro. I got you. I got you. Frostbound Hammer will be the first item picked up by Maniac as he will head back into the lane, which is now going to give him a plethora of health as well as the slow, which just has natural synergy with Osiris's kit.
Man, this Osiris pick for Maniac is so fitting for the type of guy he is. He really is the European Omega, or vice versa. The pick into this Frostbound Hammer on the Osiris, who already has Judgment Tether, Scott, it just allows him to stand in front of the tower and taunt. Like I said, he's just that guy that wants to be disruptive, get in your head, and stop you from doing whatever you're doing. And if he gets a kill, that's nice.
Yeah. I would like to point out that Neath actually, against Osiris, went for the Heartseeker star. He has a couple of stacks online, but I'm not too sure what triggered that. I mean, you are pretty safe to get the Transcendence done. So I want to see how Ataraxia plays this out. Usually the Heartseeker start means that, hey, I'm going to be a little bit more in your face, a little bit more aggressive. And he might be even rotating a lot more with the movement speed out of Heartseeker and make some plays.
Blink Cataclysm comes in. The pullbacks there as well as the knockup. I am a monster to secure it. And that very small window Pretty Prime can execute on.
Beautiful.
That is the textbook of what you want those three characters to do. Get knock up, pull from that guy, and then hit him with the ultimate out of Scylla. That is what you plan and what you draw up. It usually never goes that way, but right there we see exactly what Titan was thinking when they drafted this lineup.
I mean, like I said before, even in the draft, the tight window's there.
Yep.
It really just comes down to skill and being able to execute it properly, and Titan just showed that, hey, we can do that and more.
And that's really been Titan's calling card for a long time. If I asked anybody on the street or any fan at home who the star player on Titan is, we'd get 5 different answers because there's really no transcendent player. What Titan does and what Titan has continued to do since that very first Cloud9 game is just work as a unit, work as a team. So these multiple character combos really work well for what they do.
Someone help me.
Yeah. What?
There's the Traveler shoes on the pillow. I don't have an explanation for that. That's a thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. And Titan, again, getting a little bit bullied around here in the mid-Harpies, as now we will see Osiris just battle him out. Hand of the Gods comes down as well as the slow, but there is going to be no follow-up there. And yeah, so there's no explanation for you, huh?
No. I mean, I guess it makes sense because there's usually like 3 to 4 people mid anyway because of mid-Harpies, but
the Traveler shoes, I mean, they do provide some HP 5 out of combat, so maybe looking for some extra sustain, or actually, I think the better thought process to really entertain Maniac, force to use the ultimate to get to safety. That Neath ult is still online, though? Question.
Yeah, it is. And now they are actually going to pull the gold for you here and then wisely reset it, as they know Badger was going to be lingering around the backside, and now they will return into lane. Kanye Life does have ultimate available. He could blink in and use the Cataclysm at a moment's notice here, but it's probably not the safest as Badger, well, he also has Wrath of Terra.
Well, let's take a look at the Traveler's Boots real quick for Scylla and see just how much. So there's 20 magical power on it. Don't forget, the Scylla also has the Soul Stone. Hold that. Oh, well, beautiful blink.
Yeah, that
saved the life.
Beautiful. And wow, you could see the full thought process there. That was Ataraxia shooting the Neath arrow all the way over. They were going to fully commit onto that, but that was a beautiful blink by Badger. And now we should see some return aggression here coming out of Fnatic because of these ultimates that have been used.
I mean, that was a great reaction time out of Badger there.
Great.
I mean, he was able to immediately get out and just ensure the fact that, hey, I don't want you to get gold for you right now. I'm just going to take a step over here.
Yeah. I would be fumbling around looking for which button my active was on.
Oh, it's so hard just being able to react.
Yeah, you just have to hit sprint, right? You're good.
Oh, yeah, no. Please don't nerf it.
Oh, man. The battle for vision has continued here as now we will see the 3-man grouping in the mid lane. We're 8:15 in here. There's only been 1 kill in Ward's place, led by Maniac, who has been relatively safe in this solo lane, minus getting bullied just a bit by Ataraxia, and that's really just because of the Heartseeker.
I mean, I mentioned that before. Heartseeker generally is the more aggressive option if you're not trying to stack the Transcendence or get that done in a timely fashion. So, yeah, he's going to be trying to poke out Osiris and trying to get that tower. I mean, the tower's already at half health, so he's doing a pretty good job. It just, how does he want to transition this either with early rotations, or could he just split push for a tier 2 tower? It's really up to him.
Very interesting pickup from here. We're talking about Osiris right now, folks. He bought the Frostbound Hammer. He started off with Frostbound Hammer rank 2 with no starting item, and then followed up that purchase with the starting item of Death Toll. Now, Death Toll is very, very good for Osiris. Attack speed works for him, as does the little bit of return because of how efficient his chain is. It's just very interesting to see the starting item being purchased now.
I think it was just he didn't want to commit to a lifesteal item, but he wants some kind of sustain and extra health in lane.
And it's 800 gold.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that transitions out. I think he's just more worried on sustaining, which is why he's building that Death Toll. I actually see the Cataclysm
Here
there.
comes Badger, just gets erased.
Twice.
That small window is just being abused every single time. And the beauty of it is they don't even need Cataclysm. Now, granted, that's what really started it all off was the Blink Cataclysm, but that's just added value. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I stunned them all, and now someone's knocked up. Pick your poison.
I mean, it's percentage-based damage as well, so it's just
that's
all of it's good.
Point.
Yeah, all of it is good stuff, and Titan really not only is showing their team synergy, but just their mechanical goodness. I mean, like, no other team could effectively. I know we couldn't do that.
See, that's what it is for me. It's the team synergy.
Incut can do whatever he wants.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
These guys just work as like a well-oiled machine. They really are one player playing 20 abilities or whatever 4x5 is, right? It really seems that way a lot of the time, which is what drives. So it's why this Titan team is so successful. Because they're able to do things like that.
So you pick up the Doom Orb here on Scylla with the Traveler shoes, and now it's a very small commitment. Once you get 22 stacks, it's normally about fine. But what's going to be the next option here for her, right?
She got the Blink. She has Doom Orb online. She has Traveler shoes. It's looking to counter the aggressive rotations out of Poseidon to be there for the team fights. On top of the fact that Geb has Blink, they're looking to double Blink, double initiate with Root and Cataclysm to set up a quick kill and set up a pop-up for Repkos to actually pull someone in. I think it's brilliant. I mean, looking at it, it looks weird, but I can see what they're going with this, and I think it's a good look.
That's where I was going when I started talking about the magical power on the boots and the Soul Stone. We don't see as aggressive a build coming up from Poseidon, but Poseidon has that natural speed. So by building a little bit more power on the side of the opponent mage, and then building the Traveler's boots to go fast, you'll be able to keep up with Poseidon and still deal out damage.
Tether, broken. Sprint activated. He got the 60-second cooldown, but he went ahead and used his ultimate as well in that engagement. So definitely a win for Ataraxia. And as we look at the build, there's one thing that Fnatic's just screaming, and that's health. They have a lot of health, too. Frostbound hammers. Now you have Poseidon, who he's finished Shoes of the Magi, which means he's looking for full burst. But he'll be going into Spear of the Magus next, which will give him a little bit of penetration. And just really, if he ever catches Scylla, she's going to die.
So the way that Spear works with the dot tick of the whirlpool coming out from Poseidon, you just strip protection so efficiently out of that god.
I love what Atarax is doing in Soul Lane right now, just being unforgiving for the Osiris. I mean, Maniac did pick Osiris into that, but it just Atarax is making it work. He already got the tower. He will be rotating full force now, and he is just going to town.
Pretty Primus stuck by himself a little bit, but his team never too many steps behind, just immediately able to show their faces, and Fnatic want to be a little bit careful. They have 0 kills here right now. They get a pull onto Geb. He's forced to use Cataclysm. Where's the follow? There it is. One more time. Beautiful. We see it even when they didn't plan it.
Kraken hits as well. I'm a Monster is still available. If they lock someone down, you might see Pretty Prime go into it. Captain Twig running for his life. The rollout's good. The crush is even better. Kanye Life gets himself a kill. Titan rewards themselves with the mid-harpies and acquiring 2 kills on this one. You'll be a fool if you say they're not starting up the Gold Fury.
See, that to me, that is the impressive one. We watched how they planned out those first 2 combos, right? They planned it out clearly, blink into it. That time, Geb got caught out, used Cataclysm defensively, and Titan said, hey, we can capitalize on this, and still nail that small window.
I mean, it was like clockwork. I mean, every single thing they did was like a machine. It was like boom, boom, boom. But I would like to point out that Chronos actually didn't even go for a stacking item. He went for
pie piece. I say pie piece.
Pie piece. There you go.
Pythagoras theorem.
At the end of the day, you always just talk in a brief so you don't have to look stupid.
A Breves?
Yeah.
A Breves. But overall, he got it, and he's not even going with a stacking item in the dual lane where you have the chance to farm maybe even up to 3 stacking items, and he's still dishing out the damage and setting his team up. Comfrey is doing a lot of things right now. And he also has a blink as well on Chronos. That's 3 blinks.
Yeah, I mean, we see Chronos come out of Funball, the hunter on the side of one of the other European teams, Paradigm previously Trig, and he routinely goes Doom Orb. So 2 different approaches right here to the Chronos Hunter role. This, of course, the Pythagorean's piece, because of how basic attack Chronos is, he'll actually be able to use most of that lifesteal, which is a cool choice.
Uncommon Sash picked up here by Scylla, looking to possibly go into a Warlock Sash, which would be very, very hard for her to stack up, but it will give her a little bit of health. In comes the Neath ultimate as well, followed up with Eagle's Rally. Dead is Captain Twig. Kraken's going to slow him down a little bit, but not enough as Kanye Life is still pushing forward. Real's finally trying to get involved in the team fights. He's wrapping around the opposite side, clearing up the wards, and that's just going to kind of delay Titan a little bit. But with no Gold Fury for 3 minutes and 20 seconds, Titan can just push right into this jungle.
I like the way Titan's playing this out. Go in, get a pick, be aggressive, then back out. But actually, Badger actually gets a nice little Blink Wrath of Terror combo, but he is forced to kind of disengage there.
Kanye Life stuck by himself. Can Fnatic secure the kill? It looks like it. He turned around. He's pretty much accepted his fate right there, and Fnatic is on the board. 5-1, read the kills as we're 15 minutes into this one already.
Yeah, Titan loses 1, but it's just Kanye Life at this point. They're screaming. It's completely worth.
Of course.
But, I mean, really, all that was Titan just overstayed their welcome in the jungle. That was it.
I mean, everything else was fine up to that point where I think they wanted a little bit too much than they could actually bargain for. So it was just, they had to disengage, they had to retreat, and yeah, they get caught out. And it went to Reels of all people, and he knows how to make those kills work.
I mean, he does find himself 700 gold down across the way to his lane opponent, which is going to be the Chronos, but it's only a matter of time before we'll see what Reels can do in these team fights. He'll come crashing down, and, well, Reels doesn't miss autos.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike someone who I'm joined with on the casting booth.
Oh, I love it. It's like a pastime.
Hey, dude, you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. No,
That's just what you got to tell Incut next time.
I tell him that all the time. He's like, no, you still miss autos. I hate you. I'm like, oh, no, it's not like that. But I do like how I wanted to point out Ataraxio didn't go lifesteal. He has Heartseeker to Warrior Tabby to Executioner. So he is not committed to lifesteal. He's just, I mean, Neath does have built-in sustain, but that's all he's committed to as far as sustaining in these team fights. So we'll see how that goes, because if you slap a death on him, not only will he have half the Heartseeker stacks, he also gets that much less sustain. He's not going to be hitting as hard. He's not going to be sustaining as much.
Clearing up the mid wave here is going to be pretty prime. The blink forced out again from Badger. And now that's still a level 1 blink, so that's a 90-second cooldown here as they begin to pressure. Blink Cataclysm comes in, followed up. The pull isn't there. Wrath of Terror will hit. Kanye Life trying to shield himself to prevent him from dying. He's got the support, but he might pay with his life. In comes crashing down his Reels. The tether is down. Maniac leading the fight. He's got 2. I'm a Monster's going to be off the mark. And now we will see Reels pick up 1 kill. The Apollo rotation was too strong.
Great defense coming out from Fnatic right there. They avoided the combo that they've been hit by too many times, and this time, when I'm a Monster came from up above, they spread perfectly. Fnatic pushed Titan off of the tower and was able to maintain it. Very, very cool stuff from Fnatic.
I mean, there was no objective for them to take besides mid tower, so I do like the push, but I think the engage was a little off there, and Fnatic made sure they paid the price. I mean, Reels is slowly picking up these kills, and he's showing why he's such a big carry on the team. And honestly, I think it's a matter of time. Fnatic's looking like they might be able to turn this around.
And that's one of the things that I notice about Fnatic is other teams, when they get down, they stay down. Fnatic really tends to keep a level head, which, I mean, we see these guys at LAN, and they're some of the more animated players, which is usually not how it goes. The animated guys are the ones that get inside their own heads. But Fnatic right now, looking like they're staying very, very even.
So it did end up being a Warlock Sash picked up here by Pretty Prime, which means he has about another 8 minutes before that's fully stacked up, and he got rid of his Vamp Shroud, or Soulstone off the beginning, because that's what he started with. So he did end up selling off the starter item to finish off that item. It's going to be hard for him to find the farm, but if he does, that's going to be one beefier Scylla. It's a lot of power.
What he's looking for is probably another 5 to 7 minutes of laning phase at this point, but we actually have an initiation out of Kanye Life.
Oh, the beads! They figured it out! Kanye Life now getting body blocked. The Kraken comes down. He might pay with his life, and down he goes as Maniac's able to get one. The slow onto the Scylla as she will sentinel away, and they go, well, we got one. Let's go ahead and grab the Gold Fury.
Gold Fury opened up right here by Fnatic. It's already about half HP. In comes Comfrey to try and stop something. He'll get multi-stun if he throws it out, but it's a little too late. Woo! Fnatic has already taken the objective. Comfrey does pick up the Guardian after he's done his job.
Captain Twig in the thick of it here as Comfrey is just swinging. Maniac's trying to provide some peel, but the comms are retreat. Sprint 3 has been activated by Maniac as he will be pushing down. Comfrey hits the accelerate. Maniac pays with his life. Zeros cannot help at all, and his tower is in jeopardy.
Tower jeopardy. Well, like double jeopardy. It's going down right here, Scott. They did a lot of damage before when Fnatic pushed them off and able to seal the deal this time around. Titan heading to the right-hand side of the map. It does look like a fire giant.
I mean, they can easily do it. They have Chronos and Neith. By the 20-minute mark, especially with Chronos getting that double kill, they're going to blow up that fire giant, and there's no way Fnatic should be able to contest.
Oh, Reels is crashing in. He's in the sky. He's about to come straight down and get this kill. He's going to be on Repicos here. The Suku's good, but the So Beautiful is better. And now he has to wrap around as the crush will deter the rest of his teammates. And so they're able to pick up one here, which is going to be on a Wheelix, which is going to help. But it's definitely probably not the target they really wanted to get out of that.
I mean, I think any target's better than no target at this point. Sure. I mean, 5 of them just got Fire Giant. I mean, they did get the Gold Fury, but they failed to realize that, hey, well, Chronos Neith late game with the Scylla, pretty good at taking down objectives. So I think I'm glad that they took out the one target of Willish. So now she doesn't have Fire Giant. She's not going to be hitting as hard. It's just now you got to see if Titan decides to push with this. They go for maybe tiny objectives like Tier 1 Tower, or they push for a Phoenix.
Small plays like that make me smile real quick. Chronos, Comfrey waiting for the Scylla to get there because we talked about how problematic it is to be stacking up this Warlock Sash so late in the game. Those 3 stacks on that jungle camp actually matter. So small things like that, very, very cool.
Swinging through the lane as Comfrey as he is looking to abuse the issue here. Drops the sentry, wins the vision battle here, and Reels will watch his ward get cleaned up. And now it is a call of 4 people rotating all the way into the duo lane here as the Wheelix will be joining the pack as well. So Pretty Prime is just really looking for the setup here. Kanye Life, well, he can blink in very fast and just go ahead and pop his ultimate, and then we will just see the rest unfold. It is only a matter of seconds before the engagement happens.
I think Titan's best call here is to do a light engagement, nothing to overcommit. But speaking of overcommitting, Kanye Life blinks into 3.
Badger now in the thick of it. He's going to get hit by I Am a Monster. Down he goes. Maniac now trying to live. The Kraken's on the mark. Captain Twig picks up 1. Kanye Life will live with just a sliver of health. But with the Fire Giant, they will heal up relatively fast. Badger with a great counter initiation just wasn't enough as now Comfrey will swing on the tower.
Comfrey is the one that's going to be curating the space right here. No longer the Guardian. He has to wait for that Fire Giant to tick up, but with 2 basic attackers, the Neith and the Chronos just standing in the front lines, it's going to be very hard for Fnatic to really make anything happen.
That could be trouble. Beads already forced out from Captain Twig here. Finally, Maniac has joined the party. Rewind has been forced out as well, and now he is going to be in the middle. He gets hit by the Whirlpool, but Zero is forced all the way back. Maniac trying to fend him off. There's 4 members of Titan with the Fire Giant here, and he's still just saying, guys, we can go in. He's on Pretty Prime. The Sentinel comes out. This is a win, but they're going to continue to go forward.
Fnatic pushing forward. Reels has dropped behind. A great blink coming out from the Scylla is going to be good. Stunned out. Is Reels able to dash out because it was just a root, no problem. And now Titan, who was previously retreating, has now turned around and hit the gas as Fnatic all below 30% with the exception of Badger, who, change that. Bueno. He is, and he's at 0.
Yeah, down he goes as well. 9-6, 22-45. Titan now trying to acquire this Phoenix right away. The Fire Giant has healed Kanye Life all the way up. He was as down as 25% of his health, and now the final siege will begin here. As 4 members of Fnatic, well, they will slowly wait as now Comfrey is waiting for the minions. He has Kanye Life. The blink comes in. Cataclysm follows it up. They're on 1. They suck him in. Down goes Maniac. No, he's able to live. The Kraken slows him down. I'm a Monster's activated. It is able to hit Reels, but not a lot, as they will still be able to hold this Phoenix for the time being.
I like what Titan's doing a lot here. They're doing these light engagements, trying to lead Fnatic out of their comfort zone, the Phoenix. But Comfrey actually blinks in there, but nice bait with the rewind. Beautiful.
We're seeing that a lot out of the Chronos, but this is Fnatic's time to follow up onto him. He's already 25% HP after using that rewind. So with that, Titan is going to be forced on their back heels. They'll pick up some jungle, but they are definitely retreating away from this left-hand Phoenix.
It's all about the light engagements. You just want to poke them out and make it look that, hey, we potentially could get wiped here, but we're actually trying to lure you out of your base. We want you to
How
get
does
out.
that work so well without the raw Sylvanas heals that we usually see the light engage comps work with?
Well, the Fire Giant regen, I think, is strong enough. And look at Fnatic's team composition. It's 2 warriors.
True.
As Sylvanas, Poseidon with high cooldowns, and Apollo. They aren't exactly poking composition. They have to all-in commit. So for those kind of engagements, you don't necessarily need a healer. You don't need a Ra or a Sylvanas to actually keep you poked up. Because right now, it's all in the hands of Zyros and Reels to kind of carry out the game. Bellona, as overpowered as people may think, she does have her limits.
What are you worried about over
Geb
there?
actually used his hand 3 on the Gold Fury with the Fire Giant getting ready to come up in 10 seconds here. So that might cost him depending on when the engagement happens. But based on the footsies that we tend to normally see, he should have it for the next fight. But that's going to be a little bit scary.
I think he's just judging the DPS output of Fnatic. So, like, I think he's like, well, Apollo, if he does start it, we're going to be there, and there's no way 2 warriors are going to be able to, like, soul that with the Poseidon without taking too much damage. So.
No eyes on it either, so using the Hog 3 in secret. Fnatic doesn't know that it's used, so Fnatic has to be careful and play as if it hasn't been, because they don't know that it has been.
The secret hog.
Exactly.
The secret of the hog. Pretty Prime now looking over, spotting Chronos all the way over to the side. The comms are group up for Fire Giant as they will now take out Captain Twig's ward, and Ataraxia will begin the footsies as all members will go ahead and begin to rotate over here. They clean up another one as well, so definitely getting the bang for his buck there. The roll follow-up, the suck-in happens. They're on Maniac, though. Fist of the Gods will slow him down. The knock-up as well, forcing out the Underworld, and now we will see the turnaround. The Kraken's going to be on the mark, but the Geb shield was too big. Eagles rally comes directly in. Confrey forced into rewind. Cataclysm's a little late, but it's enough to slow him down. I Am a Monster misses, and Repikas is now in a 1v2, and he's actually winning this battle as Captain Twig is unable to do it.
Reels has just crashed down, helped get the kill on the left-hand side, but Repikas, as you said, doing what he can, takes out one, sets up the kill on the second one. Maniac will fall to Pretty Prime's hand, but it's all due to the power of Repikas. And with Fnatic 3 members down, only the Poseidon and the Apollo are still alive. Titan will set their sights onto the Fire Giant and get it.
Now the question is, can we go ahead and check gold in hand to see how much they will have, if they will back in? Yeah, they will. 1,700 on the Chronos, 1,500 on a Wheelix. Now, we are seeing Reels does have 1,400. So he's getting close, but like, I really don't know if they can handle this final assault from Titan.
I mean, at this point, it's just like, have you noticed every single engagement Titan has been the first aggressors, especially on the tanky lineup, forcing Maniac's ult every single time. I mean, Maniac only has 1 active slot. They know that he can't get out. Like, he just has teleport. So forcing the aggression on the Warriors, poking them out early, I mean, the sustain of Sylvanas isn't going to be enough against the hyper carries of a Wheelish, Chronos, Scylla, and Neath.
Titan is also forcing out Zeros' Kraken on poor targets or with targets that have the Geb shield. The Kraken is being used on Titan's terms, not Fnatic's. And because of that, the giant burst that we normally see out of Poseidon is being mitigated by Titan because they know they're funneling where that burst is going to go.
I mean, that's all about Titan's team comp. They had to set the pace of the game right from the get-go because honestly, that team comp shouldn't work, but it does work, and they're making it work because they know how to set the pace of the game and they choose the engagements, and that's key.
Now, the waves have all been pushed up. Repikas ends up hitting the split push as well, pushing the far right wave all the way up. Blink Cataclysm comes in, the knockups there as well. I'm a Monster right on the Badger. He has no health left. Kraken's going to hit the mark. Rewind forced out. Ataraxia stuck in the Whirlpool due to the Gem of Isolation pickup on Poseidon. And now we will see as Fnatic is going to try to hold the knockup hits. In comes Gravity Surge. Maniac, bye-bye.
Maniac's supposed to be one of the more tanky targets and just melted. Repikas also going to take out Zeros right here. The aggression from Titan still on the gas pedal right now. As the minions pour into the mid-Phoenix, so will the players. Making spaces, Kanye Life on the back end. The Phoenix falls and Titan Titan takes a look at the right side.
It's a 5-on-3 right now for another 30 seconds here. And that's going to be only a 5-on-4 at that point. It's almost safe to say that Titan has to kind of throw this one in order to lose it. But they're so calculated in their approach. They're making sure this is the lowest health Titan possible since they do have the time, and they're going to go ahead and clean up the Phoenix.
I mean, I like what Titan's doing right now. They're going to take out all 3 of the Phoenix. They're going to just probably back up. They might even come back in and just do a slow push on the Titan. At this point, even if they kill 1 or 2 of the Titan powerhouses, at this point, there's too many hyper carries on Titan. They're all late game. They all outscale their opponent. It's just a matter of when will they win this game.
They have to. So Titan just has to be a little bit careful. They have a very unconventional front line right here. We mentioned it going into the broadcast that they don't have a tanky warrior or whatnot. That blink on Chronos is making Chronos the front line. We see repeatedly Chronos is blinking in, getting 2 or 3 people stunned, and then getting Geb shielded or rewinding or both. Chronos is truly the front line for this team, and because of that, because it's so cooldown based and not just build and warrior based, they have to keep making these frequent retreats.
I mean, the baits coming out of Comfrey are real, and it's really...
Rewind's got to be frustrating to go against right now for Fnatic.
Absolutely.
That last Kraken brought him down to 10% HP.
Yep.
And then he hit the ultimate.
I mean, that's really it, right? You need the money Kraken to kill him beforehand, but if you waste the money Kraken on the Chronos and he rewinds it, well, there goes your damage.
Not even building particularly tanky. Normally, well, sometimes we see a Warlock sash built up on this Chronos. Really no health items on him worth speaking about. Just the Pythagorean's piece and...
Demonic Grip.
Yeah, Demonic Grip, really.
Standard. He actually has double penetration with Demonic Grip and Spear of the Magus. Realizing, hey, double warrior, they're probably going to get magical defense. Well, going to get double penetration.
That makes sense, yeah.
So
magical defense,
it's a good look.
Never a bad idea. As Repicos, he's looking for Maniac here. The knockup isn't going to follow up, but you could tell he was ready to gravity surge him right back into him and just have Comfrey just crush through his health. And the 4 members are going to group up, and Fire Giant is no longer equipped to their belts, but and what is that? 45 seconds here, they're going to be able to get Fire Giant again. Or they might just lurk in the jungle and try to get a pick.
All they need is 1 or 2 people picks right now, like this pick right here, and they can end the game. Huge Geb Ultimate Maniac getting caught, pulled in, and it's the same story all game long. It's
just really unfortunate.
Are you surprised by this team comp?
I mean...
Have you gone against anything like this before?
I have. But I can see why it works, but the biggest thing for me is why does Maniac not have a second active? Hey, he still has Teleport 3, of course that's going to happen. So it makes me, like, I would be frustrated for Fnatic right now because, you know, that pick right now is a guaranteed Fire Giant to guarantee ending the game.
The fireworks coming out.
Shoutouts.
Shoutouts to the fireworks. The Fire Giant is coming to life here as he finally breaks through, and the members of Titan are already on him, and you will watch them perfectly tank this up as Accelerate doesn't give him the attack speed debuff, and now he gets crushed. And at 31 minutes and 40 seconds, this very well could be the final push of Titan. Fnatic has to hold. They have to have the dream, as Maniac will be alive for this final engagement. But it's really an all eyes on Badger with a good Kraken from Zeros, followed up by an Eagles rally and the dream. They need everything to work.
They have to fight outside the base here. If they do get inside the base with a perfectly spread kind of position, they could burst down the Titan. It's 3 Phoenixes down. That thing is not that tanky.
You've got I'm a Monster. You've got the spell spam from Chronos along with the basics.
And the fire minions.
So right now, all Fnatic needs to find the engagement, and they need to find it quick before the minions come in. They get the Phoenix on respawn.
Wow.
And honestly, like, it's going to be a miracle if Fnatic holds here.
Yeah, right now Titan's just going to reenact what they did a couple of minutes ago to make sure that these Phoenixes stay down as soon as they come up.
Too.
Yeah.
Very calculated in their pursuit here, and it looks like they will push in. Blink Cataclysm follows it up, and Maniac gets sucked back in. Kraken on the mark, though. Might be able to get one, but Rewind says, yeah, definitely. See you later. The Mez from Reels will keep him alive for the time being. I Am a Monster connects with one, doesn't get the reset, as now another member will fall, and Titan now just has to focus on the Titan, and it looks like they will be able to take this game number 1 in this set.
I mean, just perfect play out of Titan. They came to win. That is for sure.
Thanks, bro. Such insight.
Oh, yeah.
What are you, me?